Dean for Graduate Programs. Joining me on the stage today will be Assistant Dean Dorothy Mayer. Also on stage with us are several faculty members. Professor Mary Hartnett, Professor Joshua Teitelbaum, Professor Joseph Page, and Professor James Feinerman. I also want to thank Registrar Denise Sangster and Adela Gaither and Marika Kuhl of the Registrar's Office, who will be assisting us today, as well as our site manager, Molly Jackson, who is working today with Tina Drake-Zimmerman, Indira Dingeldine, and Kimberly Martin. Now I have the pleasure of introducing the student speaker for today's commencement, Hector Amrosilla Machuca. Hector was chosen by a vote of the class of 2012 to speak on your behalf. He comes from Mexico, where he received his first law degree from Universidad Panamericana. And he was one of my students, so I know he's terrific. Hector?
Buena palabra.
Victor Hugo, the French novelist, once said that the future has many names. For the weak, it means the unattainable. For the fearful, it means the unknown. But for the brave, it always means the opportunity. Dear faculty members, dear colleagues, families, and friends. From all the people that graduate from Georgetown today, our section is in some way special. First, because we, the 447 students of 62 countries, we were already lawyers. For us, returning to law school was a difficult and challenging decision that had many different meanings, including specialization, professional development, a change in our careers, or perhaps just the intuition that we needed to come to see where life put us afterwards. However, we never imagined that our time at Georgetown will be as it was. For some, it started in July with the Foundations course, where we received an introduction to the US legal system. While for the rest of our classmates that came weeks later, we started like they were received by a hurricane, Irene, and then by an earthquake. Then we all start knowing each other and together pass through the stress of picking and dropping courses. And parents, believe it or not, but picking courses can be a very stressful task. For the Americans, it was in some way becoming a JD again, but from a new angle, combining highly demanding courses with work and other responsibilities. But for the foreign students, it was something else. Our first surprise was the amount of material that we had to read. More than 100 pages per one class, and we had 4 or 5 classes per week. The readings were something insane. The second surprise came from the method in which such readings were discussed and commented in class. What was important was not knowing the information, but understanding it, criticizing, and improving upon it. And perhaps, if we are taking something from our masters, it will be that, a better thinking and a better reasoning that makes us better lawyers. In the second semester, we all thought we will handle everything better and more relaxed. But even if we tried, we often failed. There were externships, cover letters, resumes, IC, interviews that didn't come, and the most loved and hated word in this city, networking. We were doing networking everywhere and with anyone. We also realized our time was coming to an end, and we were about to make some of the most important decisions in our lives, either personally or professionally. Today, after these intense months, we can affirm that we are better lawyers. And it is not because we know more law or more cases, but because we are prepared to confront whatever comes along. We are ready to face new matters, stay in the US, passing the bar, or going back to our countries and see the next case or the next client, but from a better and more mature perspective. Several months or even years may need to pass for this experience to settle and make sense. But when such moment arrives, we will be confident that our choice of coming to Georgetown was the best we could have made in our professional careers. Of course, our success is shared, and we want to thank all the people who have been part of it. First, we thank our families. Dads, moms. Here we are, your little kids, in one of the best universities, the US and the world, wearing these fancy regalias. Here, back at home, or wherever you are, thanks again for believing in us. And if you feel proud of us, be confident that today we are even prouder of being your sons and your daughters. Secondly, we thank all the people and organizations that in our home country supported us with scholarships or financial aid. Thanks to those who selected us among many candidates because they believe in our past and bet on our future. We also thank our professors and all the administrative personnel at Georgetown Law, especially to the graduate programs office and other teams. All of us have our own special list of names, and we want to thank all of them for their patience, support, and for their pats on our backs. Finally, we thank all of you. The great and only Georgetown LLM class of 2012. Thanks for your friendship, good moments, hundreds of posts on Facebook, happy hours, but above all, thanks for being the greatest co-pilots in this 9-month journey. Congratulations on your efforts, because no matter what our final grades were, we have all received an A+ in this life test. Colleagues, not very far from here, monuments of great people and great Americans are located. Among them are the memorials of Thomas Jefferson, Woodrow Wilson, and Martin Luther King Jr. They were 3 lawyers who, even when they used the law as a tool to make a more just and fair society, they understood that this world not only needs better laws, but needs better institutions and better persons committed to their communities and committed to their countries. My friends, we have on our shoulders the great responsibility to keep the law as one of the noblest professions. And whether in law firms, corporations, governments, or any place where a lawyer is required, we should honor the duty we have been entrusted with. The name Georgetown will help to open many doors, but we need to choose among them wisely. Be careful not to follow only the economic ambition, because we face the risk of becoming lawyers with our pockets almost full, but our spirit almost empty. Keep studying, always. Share your knowledge with the ones that come behind us. And as the Uruguayan scholar Eduardo Couture said in his Decalogue of Attorney, love your profession in such a way that if your son or daughter asks you for advice regarding the destiny, you consider an honor to propose them to become a lawyer. My friends, I conclude these remarks by mentioning that many years ago, the people who lived in the south of my country, and that the world knows as the Mayas, said that 2012 wouldn't be the end of the world, but the beginning of a new era. I don't know anything about archaeology, and I don't know if such a legend is true or false. But what I do know is that for us, our new era starts today. I invite you then to face it as Victor Hugo said, not as the weak, not as the fearful, but as the brave, that see the future always as an opportunity. Congratulations and the best luck to everyone.
Thank you, Hector. That was terrific. It was smart and inspiring and just terrific. Thank you very much. Now we will begin the presentation of diplomas.